got a lot of copywriting wisdom that I'm gonna throw at you in this video. And basically this is the step one of a 5-step series where I'm talking about the exact formula for building my own email list and building your email list from zero. So the main number one thing that you need to know, the 1 step out of 5-step, is the program for this is like basically the formula of crafting email lists that are conversion oriented and focused and very audience driven and lead driven. And I've created the whole longer video on that when you click up there, and it's essentially showing you exactly step by step for the 5 steps of how to create an email list from zero. So this is what I'm doing for my own clients, for my own list as well, for my products on the front end, and little offers that I have going and whatnot for my motive emotion stuff. But also like really just crafting like many interesting example emails. And this is actually it's like probably number 1 or 2 thing that clients do come to me for building out, right? Because I know how to write, edit, and strategize, as well as like implement. I can use the whole series, like with the, I can put a whole series into ActiveCampaign and Klaviyo and whatever. Like I'm well versed with those MailChimp type platforms, right? But the CRMs are not really my focus. The focus is actually writing the high conversion copy and crafting segmentation and actually getting someone to the next level for, you know, the stage of the brand that they're at, right? Top funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of the funnel, whatever it may be. And so when clients come to me for this stuff, they're really wanting the indoctrination sequence often, or they want me to work on their funnel in terms of the long-term like content play. And telling stories and giving testimonials and case studies away for people, because that's really important. It's an engaging process. But this number 1 step here is really like the actual thing about how you get the list, right? So most people on their website, if you notice, I don't know if you notice this, but I do all the time, like all the time. Go to any website practically that has under optimized their email campaigns and marketing. They really have something at the footer that says like join our newsletter, click here, go. And then nobody cares about that. Like I can promise you that's not getting anybody excited, because there's no value transfer. You're just like, yeah, would you like to hear from us like later or something? I don't know, like click the button if you want. Like I don't really care actually. Like that's basically what you're saying. You're like, yeah, just scroll down there and I don't know, I'm too lazy to even finish the sentence. Like that's kind of the approach that you're doing, at least from my perspective when I see that, because pretty much all internet marketers who are like savvy with lead magnet stuff and email in 2020 and beyond, like they're offering something for email addresses, right? Because people are people. Like they're looking for what's best for them in their best interest. And when you hit them with something that's super valuable for them and it's free, and all you got to do is enter some words in a box, it's pretty nice. You're like, all right, I'll just take that, cool. And some people are thinking that they'll get contacted later, but most people are probably just like, yeah, I want the free thing, email it to me. Great, cool. Well, that's the open window that you have, basically, because you're offering something valuable and relevant to that niche or that vertical, and they're loving it, and then they get a lot of value from it, or educational or edutainment, right? Which is that education and entertainment, which we talk about in this main video, and also that's step number 2. But this is the type of stuff that gets them actually into the list that you have, you know, right? You're building your initial list and you're giving them something to give away, right? So lead magnet examples, like I want to give you some examples that are industry specific. But it really depends on which industry you're serving, and that's why it's important to know. But it's some examples that are baseline for pretty much any industry that will probably work fairly well for you are the lead magnet PDFs, so some type of document that's really valuable for them, a white paper, something that's really technical but very engaging and providing a solution for them, telling them basically why your brand was started and what your products are about and who you're serving and things like that, and why you're fixing, why you're new, why you're really special between the whole market, and positioning yourself in a good way to kind of jut yourself out from the competitors, right? 3 could be a video series, a little training, tutorial, whatever. Like if you're a WordPress designer, right, or developer, you could give like a 5-step thing away for like basically the clients who might be interested in hiring you one day, but right now they're not in that stage of buying, which is, you know, usually only like 3% anyways. But you give them like 5 tips on how to like do their hosting and set it up through Bluehost and through some other popular ones like SiteGround, and then you just let them, you know, learn how to do that by you teaching them. You're positioning yourself as the expert and authority, and we'll get to that in a second. But that's the main benefit, is like you're giving them something for valuable away for free, and they are engaging with it on their own time, and then you're nurturing them with content and valuable deliverables in the meantime when they're ready to buy. Number 4 could be a webinar. Webinar is really helpful and powerful. Very good to get people in a live webinar, to actually pitch it live rather than just do your pre-recording, because people know the difference obviously, and have some chats pop up and whatnot, and you can answer those questions. But you're selling, you're pitching, when you have that webinar, and most people are going to opt in and maybe half will show up, but either way, you're getting people on your list, and you can use them for those numbers and names for later. Number 5 might be some other, mini tutorial or something that comes in a form of an interview or a case study, right? Case studies are really great for software. So it really depends on kind of what you're doing and how you're going to deliver it, but this is really up to you. But what I would say is you want to make it different and uniquely positioned and have a good angle and a good hook. And those are copy basics, but you want to position yourself in a similar way in terms of the offer that other people in your industry are doing, right? So you don't want to reinvent the wheel. That's like a whole big strategy when you are working on business online especially, right? You don't want to reinvent the wheel. You want to take something that works, you want to scale it and optimize it and use it for your own power and benefit to help solve the problems that your clients and customers are having. But you don't want to just be like, I'm going to be so fresh and new and different, and I'm just going to give them like a dog chew toy for their brand, and like that would be great because software clients love dogs, and whatever. That's like going way too far. Like, I'm going to do the free plus shipping book offer that a lot of authors are doing these days, and I'm going to help. It'll help me get like new branding clients into my funnels, and like that probably won't work. I'm not saying don't do it, like don't try it, okay, whatever. I'm just saying you want to save yourself the time and the benefits of reserving that time by basically leveraging off of things that are already working in your industry. So like I said, if you're in tech and finance or whatever, you're not going to be sending them some like free e-commerce offer where it's like a funnel where you send them some dog toy or something just because you think it would be cute because a lot of them have dogs. Like, that doesn't really relate to what you're selling. So you don't want to actually just give them something random, right? That's called reinventing the wheel, aka wasting usually a ton of time, like a metric crap ton of time. So I would say if you're in tech, give them a white paper just like a lot of your competitors are doing, but make it better. Give them a great like video breakdown of some very valuable specific like solution that they're having to their problem that you may have like uncovered in another way by your interviews or your research that maybe your competitors are not doing. Make it so much more valuable that it's such a no-brainer for them to be like, yeah, I want it. Please give me that now. Like, I can't believe that that's free. I really want that. I'm gonna type in my email and get it. So that is the type of stuff that you want to do to set yourself apart, but you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So just keep that in mind. And the second point here that we're covering really is the importance of setting yourself apart as an authority figure and having that bias like kind of work in your favor. It's like a cognitive bias that we work on that Cialdini talked about. Also, Charlie Munger in his 25 Cognitive Biases often talks about these things because they are very important for recognizing how people operate in their psyche and they're making decisions and whatnot. So one easy way to do it is basically like position your brand through awesome, valuable content, amazing like stuff that's a storytelling thing, case studies, examples, results, whatever. And position that stuff as, the results, like kind of implying that the results came from you because you are the one who taught it, or you're the one who owns the business or who does the marketing for it or whatever. And that way, people will actually start to look at you as a trusted figure who's an authority, who knows what the hell they're talking about, and that you can learn more from them in the future. Be authentic and open with it and engage the people with things that you've learned, give them valuable insights, be known, for showing up and giving just incredible, explosive, like fire hoses of value, and that's so hyper relevant to your target leads that they love you for it. And that's another cognitive bias, liking, loving tendency. And so that plus coupled with the authority bias, like those are things that get people to follow you and engage in your brand and buy in and love your stuff. And that is a very powerful way to like really make a cult-like following. We talk about in this longer term video where we're borrowing that term indoctrination from the cults and whatnot, because you really want to get people super engaged with your brand or your products or whatever, right? Because they don't want to be kind of wishy-washy or kind of like in the middle or lukewarm. That's the worst thing that you could possibly do. You'd rather have people polarized, like you, or hate you. And we're going to talk about this in the other steps of this video or whatnot. If not, then just be patient again, like they're coming. So if you're liking this video so far, like the button and smash the crap out of it and make sure that it breaks and just like you hurt its feelings and like you break its family. So that's what you want to do, because then if you hit it that hard, then it's going to circulate that much harder around the internet. And then you can also subscribe to this channel because there's going to be so much content. I don't want you to miss those videos as well. So like right now, you can actually go click the long-term video, the long form content rather, that is telling you the entire overview of this whole story. But the 5-step formula of building an email list is right there. But the other ones for each video will be going just like this video, which is number 1. 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be up soon. So just stay patient. And if you click subscribe and you click that little bell, then the thing that's going to happen is you're going to actually be notified when those pop up, so you will never miss them. So make sure to do those things right now. And then I'll wait when you share this as well, because I know your mom and dad and your brother and maybe your sister or maybe your best friend from college are really interested in marketing, just like you. And so if you do share this, I'll wait for you. And then, all right, cool. Thanks for doing that. Glad you're back. And yeah, let's get on to another 3 with the step 3 point of how to build an email list with lead magnets. All right, so the third main thing we want to cover today is when you're actually delivering the lead magnet. This is the next transitional phase. So I will show you exactly like how to kind of brand this stuff and how to position it as well. So I'm gonna throw up on the screen a few little lead magnet examples. So if you can see, this kind of like actually comes with a great breakdown, comes with a great formula that you can use, where it's like that you see the big image usually on the left, sometimes on the right, but it's usually like a 2/3 setup, a 2/3 and 1/3. So the 1/3 is the forms, and the 2/3 is usually your product or your offering or your video, your webinar, whatever you're actually giving to these people for free for the email exchange. You are giving them this in a centralized format that actually doesn't really differ even across industries and products and verticals. So I'll also throw up on the screen mine. So like I'm kind of following that same formula with the headline on the top, you know, the image on the left, the form on the right. And this is just one of my lead magnets. I got several different ones, but I'll show you different ones around the internet. You can also go grab those if you want. If you're interested in copywriting and getting much better, I'll shoot you those links and whatnot here. But basically, you really want to just, you know, actually follow, like I said, what the industry is working on, what's going well, and what is working for the front end free lead magnet offer, right? Because that is the way that you reel people into your brand rather than trying to reinvent the wheel. So when you do this, you are able to see what's really working now and kind of like this trend and what branding is on trend now for this imagery and also for the headline. The headline's always going to be the biggest thing at the top. I mean, anything really, sales page, offer, newsletters, even like offline sales letters and also newspapers and things like that. Like the headline is the headline. Like that's the biggest thing, you know, like that's the thing that everybody looks at. It's huge font. It's very engaging. It's never boring. You know, it's the exact thing that you want. It's like hitting pain points and giving you benefits by, you know, staying on the page and seeing what's going on. And that's what you're doing here. There's no difference. So that's what you want to do. You want to follow this format. So when you're doing that, you also need to recognize like how this is going to lead into something, right? So you don't want to just offer, like I said before, let's say you want to do that whole free lead magnet offer or whatever, and like you found out that a lot of clients are like dog lovers. Like if you're trying to sell your branding clients on your dog lover thing and you want them to opt in on the dog thing because they have a dog, maybe they can get a free chew toy or enter a contest, maybe that's your lead magnet to, you know, basically get a toy for their dog or some treats or something stupid. Like that's cool, but it doesn't like relate at all. That's just dumb because it doesn't relate at all to what you're giving away. And you'd think this is common knowledge, but you see a lot of different offers that are like, how are they going to sell things to people later? And I've gone through a lot of these funnels where it's like, that was a huge leap mentally. Like how did you start with that front end, right? So something I learned a long time ago from Ryan Dice, and I've tested it myself, it works very, very well. So you want to do the segmenting kind of from something that you're selling, because maybe you have a product in mind that you're going to sell them, or hopefully even better, your product is actually validated. You've already gotten sales, right? And then you are giving them something that's giving away that's relevant and related to their thing, like directly. So instead of the dog toy for some stupid thing like that, like actually focus on something that might work, right? Like maybe a brand sheet, right? If you're giving the branding clients away some brand sheet that breaks down your 4 pillars of branding, and again I covered that in a longer video, but you're doing that, you're giving them extreme supreme value about like, yes, I would love to use this, I'll take your branding thing and they use these pillars in my own brand now, and also I'll be like educated by you, the authority, how to pick a graphic designer and what brand looks great, what are some horrible examples of ugly brands, and what are things that work for conversions and whatnot, and like how to boost your conversions and how to get your more engaged audience on tap, and like all that stuff. If you put that away in a PDF and you just send that to your client when they opt in for your lead magnet, then they're gonna be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like I love this, and this guy knows exactly what he's talking about, or this gal is like sharp branding expert and I think I'm gonna hire her later. You know, like that's what you wanna do. And if you're not doing this, then you really have no idea like what your clients want, and you don't offer them anything. It's just too big of a jump for what you gave them and then what you're selling them, right? So always think long term, always think long funnel, always think bottom of the funnel. How are you going to get people from up here where the wide mouth of the funnel is so big, the TOF type of funnel? How are you going to get them to the middle, which is the next stage, and take action with you? How are you get them to the bottom of the funnel, which is the higher ticket, long term, long returning, loving, loyal clients? How are you going to do that? You're going to do it by engaging them on things that are logically leading them through the next step. And you're going to pull them by the hand and be like, look, check this out. Kind of like going through a museum, like look like that. You can have that art piece if you want. Would you like this statue? Like, yeah, the statue is very nice. It also kind of really goes with the whole theme of the Revolutionary War for these two, right? Whatever. Like you're going to actually piece these things together so the client understands the whole cohesiveness of your brand. And you do that by giving them like a small segmented piece. Like I said, I learned this from Ryan Dice, digital marketer. You throw that out to them, it's relating to the next step. So it's make a logical leap to the next product that you have to sell them on the front end, where you can actually start liquidating that customer, which basically means making the first sale, making your money back on your ads, you know, giving the first break even point. Some people call this a tripwire. Maybe it's a low ticket offer. It works well in certain industries, and others it doesn't really work well, right? So it really is how you do this. And so those 3 steps are the main things that you want to do to build this email list for the lead magnet step, for step number 1, which is building the lead magnet and your offering. And also I'll show you briefly like what I'm doing here, because this has worked well for me. Or when I have traffic coming to the sales page for my ultimate copywriting guide to selling anything online, the executive package and whatnot, I'm actually showing them exactly what they can buy for that, but they only got there usually because, you know, they opted into my first list, which is the first chapter of that book. So I have the book, and I have all these other things in the executive package, which show you how to, you know, target your audience, how to use behavioral economics and game theory, and like how to work with like really targeting your audience so you know what they're working for or working with in life, basically, and giving that to them, and then writing the copy in the book that actually shows you how to do it, right? Those are the 5 chapters in that book, but the first chapter I'm just giving away for free. And so you can see that up on the screen, basically, like I'm giving that chapter away for free on the lead magnet, and it converts very well. Like the lead page on that, I think it's roughly like 30 to 50% somewhere in there, which is like phenomenal, because even in any industry, like the average is only like 20% or something or less usually. And so you basically want to give them some piece that's relevant to them for the product that you're selling on the back end, right? So this is really powerful for the stuff that you are giving away and then later on selling, because it doesn't seem like a huge, you know, unlogical or illogical rather jump for them to just go on to the next product, right? So that's what I'm doing in my business. I mean, that's just one piece. That's like not my main offer at all. Like obviously my main thing is like selling high ticket clients and whatnot and closing them, and delivering for them. But basically like that thing works pretty well, because like I'm selling them this one thing, and then before I sell them to it, I give them the offer, and they get a preview of the thing, and they get a test ride the offer and the products, right? So when they like that, they're like, yeah, well, I want more. I want the whole thing. I'll just buy the thing, and it's cheap. So it's like, all right, cool. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for new copywriters. Like it's just great. So this is the way that you do this type of stuff, and this is the way that I'm practicing what I preach. I don't just tell you stuff that I don't know about. So this is what I'm doing, and this is how you build the lead magnet. So that's what you do, guys. This is what you really do, and I hope you were taking notes through the whole process. Like I said, if you like this content, bang the like button, smash it, obliterate it, and also the sub button, because if you sub, you're gonna get all these other videos that I'm talking about that maybe if I'm pointing up here every 5 minutes and whatnot, like they are maybe there, maybe not, but because I'm dripping them, they will be there. And if you subscribe and you hit the bell, you're gonna be notified first when they do, because I really don't want you to miss them. You're gonna be just on par with this type of value and this content, this quality, and also with the long form video that's already up there, so you can see the whole 5 steps if you don't wanna wait. But those 5 videos are coming out. Got other stuff about how to write copy for a beginner, how to become a copywriter, how to sell and price your services, how to sell on the phone, how to close clients, all that stuff. All that stuff is coming your way. So really just subscribe, hit the bell, you will be notified. So once again, this is Evan from Motive Emotion. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hanging around to the end and learning for learning these steps that you need for your business, and to build the email list from zero, so you can actually have the most tangible asset for your brand and your business, and make sales on the back end every day, automatic, 24/7, like when you're sleeping and going to the park and doing whatever. So yeah, much love. Talk soon, and thank you for paying attention. Bye.